Autograph them till nobody's left, and we're in no hurry. I don't have to be home till midnight. I got a curfew at midnight. So, Jim, I'm gonna let you make your introduction, and then I'll start your video.
Well, thank you, Steve. I appreciate the opportunity to come back home. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. It brings back a lot of memories. And I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces out there. Another thing I've noticed, and I don't know whether it's because I need all the help I can get, but I see there's 3 preachers here today. Maybe there's more, but 3 of them that I know. Well, Steve mentioned, there's 3 people I'd like to introduce. I'd like to introduce more than that, but these are special people. My neighbor, Lowell Behrens, who come down with me today, and a fellow high school graduate that I didn't know was going to be here today, but he come from Marion. He graduated from high school at the same time I did. That's Harlow Warnicki right here. Another special guy who was also a fellow Battle of the Bulge veteran here today, and that's Malcolm Strum.
Hey!
Yay!
Well, you know, I speak occasionally, or maybe more often than not, especially this time of the year, to different groups. This morning I just spoke to a grade school group in Manhattan at Woodrow Wilson School. And I hope you have as many interesting questions as those kids. I mean, they had studied World War II, about Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party and all that. And they were really enthusiastic and ready to go. But anyway, we are going to take questions afterwards, but those kids reminded me when I grew up here in White City, and I was here until I was 19 years old when I went off to the Army. We lived 6 miles south and 3/4 west until 1944. And at that time, I went off the Army. My dad was Colonel Sharp, who some of you may remember, an auctioneer, had an implement business in Harrington at that time. So when I went off to the war, my 2 brothers had already gone, and he couldn't run the business and the farm at the same time. So we had a farm sale, and I went to the Army, and they moved to Harrington. So anyway, being here, every time I come to White City, I think about when I was a little kid. Every Saturday night, we would come to town to buy groceries. That's about the only time we come to town. And this place was buzzing on Saturday night. It was full of people. All of them were doing the same thing. They come to buy groceries. They brought their eggs or the cream in and trade them out, you know. That's the way it was. I remember those days. I could start up here and name most of the businesses were in town, and these storefronts were full of businesses at that time. So anyway, it brings back a lot of memories, and I'm glad to be here. I went to service in 1944. I was only in the Army a little over 2 years, but I went in. They needed combat infantrymen, and that's what I was. And I wouldn't recommend that kind of an occupation for anybody, because especially in the Battle of the Bulge, where Malcolm Strum was and I was, it's pretty tough. Everybody up there has a rifle, 100 rounds of ammunition, a bayonet, 2 hand grenades, and you know what they're trying to do?
Sure, yeah.
We don't need any more. We got to figure out a way to eliminate war. And it's a tough job for our diplomats, but that's not a very good alternative. But anyway, I spoke at the Abilene Presidential Library here. Some of you were there, I know. I don't know who, but I know some people from White City were there. There's a guy come up to me afterward and said, "Would you sit for a video interview?" And I said, "Well, if you make 3 copies for my kids, I would." So we did. That's what you're going to see here. It's an outfit, Eagle Communications. maybe you've seen part of it. But anyway, it's 22 minutes like Steve said, and then we'll take the questions at the end. So,
Reminder, if you need to go to the bathrooms, they're back here. Don't go over the cord here. I don't want you to trip.